Our friend and colleague and family member, Russell. So with this picture of Russell here, what we're going to do with this is once we're done today, we're going to leave this in the hut. We're going to put it somewhere in the hut so that people that come along inside the hut can put a face to a name. Okay, just want to welcome our extra special guests today, and that is have 10 members of the Mawby family. We have Russell's sister Tammy, Russell's brother Aaron, Russell's brother Grant and his whole family, wife Christina, daughters Gillianne and Grace, and son Jem. We have special friend Robin, and perhaps the most special guest of all, Russell's mother, Mrs. Mavis Mawby. Welcome.
And Nathan, another nephew.
Cousin, sorry, nephew Nathan as well. What's next on my list? Through myself.
He's cheating.
Okay, so my name is Jordan Lunn, so I had the privilege and honour of sharing the cubicle with Russell for the last couple of years of his employment at Telstra. I didn't know him best of all. That honour probably goes to Ian and Martin, so they're going to get a chance to speak, because they certainly put in a lot more effort into developing a friendship with Russell, so we'll hear from them shortly. And so first of all, what is this thing for? Now I came out here last week just to check things out before we had this ceremony today, and out here you can feel the heat off the orange ground, and you can hear the bugs and the smell that's out here, the bush smell and all that feel. And while we were driving up here enjoying all that, on my smartphone I was watching the American football live. It was the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I like American football. That's what I like to watch. But I was watching it live out here, and it's because of this thing here, this structure with some antennas at the top and some batteries and a bit of electronics in that hut there. So what this thing does is provides phone coverage around in this area. Now the state government will probably be horrified that I was using this to watch American football, but just things like this bring the world closer together. What's next? Okay, now the site selection of this site was done by Stuart Chappell, with Alan Mills overseeing that, and they chose this spot here. Now just 500 metres that way is the Albany Highway. And if we go just another short 500 metres on the other side of the Albany Highway, we get to the Bibbulmun track. And we know, didn't Russell love the Bibbulmun track? He walked big bits of it down in Northcliffe and Pemberton, and with this man here. Okay, so I think Russell would be very happy with the chosen site, being out here amongst all this. So we're going to let these guys speak here, and then we have a plaque to unveil that's attached to the door there. And then we'll have some lunch, and we'll wrap up. So first of all, Mr. Pollock is he's a special man in Russell's life.
Yeah, we swap.
Hey, you swap. You want to go first?
Yeah. All right.
Tell me next time. You go in the order that I say.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, we'll go. Our section leader, Mr. Martin Whittick.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. And, thank you very much for coming.
For now.
And for those of you who don't know Russell, he was a very valuable member of our team. He was very innovative and creative. He embodied high moral values. He was known for his honesty and integrity. If we ask Russell to honor him, he would never accept the honor of site to be named after him.
No.
So it is our privilege to recognize his memory in this way. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Pollock.
Okay, so Russell was a good friend of mine. When I first joined mobiles, and I had absolutely no idea, and we had a tyrannical boss called Jeffrey Smythe. He was a really nice guy, and but I didn't know what to do with Jeff because he scared me a lot. And Russell took me under his wing, and and taught me many things on how to deal with Jeff. And once I got to know how things work within the organisation, I found that I could take my own sense of humour. And Russell, as we all know, Russell had a bit of a sense of humour, and he was easily led into things that we did. One time we actually set up a camera on Jeffrey's desk so that Russell and I could see when Jeffrey got up, and we would quickly look like we were working when he walked around to the printer. And Jeffrey still doesn't know to this day that we actually had a monitor set up on his desk. So there were times that we did all sorts of things, but the things that I just were so important to me with the relationship with Russell, just sitting with them, and we found we had a lot of things in common, belief in a lot of the things. And look, this site is one of 113 that we built with the state government, but Russell had a very strong sense of community and helping people that didn't slightly disadvantaged to what we were. So the fact that these 113 sites are built through the country, through the state, and they're bringing the services that we take for granted in the city, and they actually bring the services out to the people in the country. And I think that's pretty important for the people here. Have a great sense of ownership of the network, and for a site and to be named after Russell. And this site will be here for, well, I'd say forever, but it's a permanent part of the landscape now, and it's overlooking a beautiful spot, and somewhere that we know was important to Russell. I spent many times kayaking with them, and I know that he loved the outdoors, and there's just many things that were very special. So look, the other thing that I have here is I was very aware that we have an award within the group for people who do silly things. It's kind of a practical joke, and it's funny that we have, but I wanted to offset that with something that was similar to what Russell did. Russell was very low key, and he looked very. Always tried very hard to not look busy, but he used to work amazingly long hours and create amazing programs and ideas just to make his life easier. So he could go and have a cup of coffee, and his computer would be doing all the work for him. But and he's so dedicated. So it's the innovative thinking that Russell had. So what I did is we thought that maybe we could create an award, and we call it the Russell Mawby Award. And so the idea is basically it's awarded to someone within the group on an annual basis that is awarded for innovation or a proposal or technique or a process to make something we do easier. And that was Russell. That was what Russell was all about, making his job easier. He always used to laugh about, he's trying to make himself redundant, but that was just him. He would make himself redundant in that job and then find something else equally complex. So what we have is basically there's an annual trophy, and we put it up for this nominations within the group. So basically it's a peer award, so it's recognised by this individual, recognised by their award, and Silvio won it the last time. So Silvio's, but we had 3 nominees this year. So John Sheridan was one, so is John. Grant Lauder was another, and we had Simon Callahan. So each of these individuals have done something very clever within the mobiles system. So without any, look, I'm not going to talk like Jordan. Jordan loves to talk, but I'll cut it there.
Not too bad.
Yeah. But anyway, the winner is for this year is Grant Lauder.
Yeah, but
a very honourable award. I was a good friend of Russell. He was a great bloke, as the other guys have said, and had a lot of things in common with him with the outdoors, and was always a bit of a go-to man for advice on the outdoors or buying a kayak. And at work, if I ever had any computer issues or things like that, he was a go-to man. And Jordan has stepped up, and on this innovation where I'm sending out alerts to let people know of bushfires and the like. Russell would have been a go-to man because it was a computer thing that I sort of struggled a bit with. I'm sure his family's all gone to him with many computer problems in the past. Same thing happened at work, and this time Jordan was able to help me out here. So yeah, this is a great award. I feel very privileged to get it. So yeah, thanks a lot.
well done.
All right, I'm done.
Okay, so now it's time for the unveiling of the plaque. Now I thought this honour should go to a special person. Now Mr. Jem Mawby is Russell's nephew. He's also ex-Telstra. And on many lunch times, Russell and Jem would spend time in the lunch area down the bottom of our building, spending quality uncle-nephew time together. So, Jem, will you do the honours, please, and unveil the plaque for us? Now it's time for a bite of lunch, and get the other marquees up and have some lunch. And maybe the Mawby family wants to pose around the plaque or something like that, so just do that.
Yes, we do.
Take the trek up there. Up to you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to have to run home and get ready and come back.